Look, there's been a big battle waging, Jesus, between Sly News, as I call them, and Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, who believes that the mainstream media are unfairly targeting him. It's really exploded in two very dramatic interviews. I'd love you to look at them both. So this is first
Mhm.
Nigel Farage sitting alongside the new treasurer of the Reform UK party, Nick Candy, who's really just watching on at this huge row that is developing with the Sly News political editor, Beth Rigby.
Very well.
But for the
He's a serving
victim,
member of Parliament.
for him to imply that she was pushed over
I
when the
don't know.
court document says he kicked her, that's difficult for the victim, isn't
I'll
it?
believe anything you say.
It's not what I say, it's what the court document says.
I haven't read
It's not what I said, it's a
I
court
don't know. It's 20 years
document.
ago. And this
Okay,
is why,
fine.
and this is why, you know, mainstream media like you are losing the affections of the British public. Let's worry about where we are today. Let's worry about where the country's going. Let's worry about the fact we're getting poorer. Let's worry about the fact that our communities are breaking down, that people are scared to walk on the streets of London wearing a watch or jewellery.
That wasn't my question.
No,
I
know.
What
and
I'm
you're
asking
talking,
you...
You're talking about an inside Westminster story that you want to talk about.
If you want to professionalise the party, then these are questions people are going to ask. And if it was another political party and this has happened, you would expect me to ask them as well.
I have not heard you ask a single Labour minister about the case where a man was on the ground in Runcorn.
What did you make of that?
Well, I see two things. I see the questions in bad faith, which are classic in these scenarios. And usually I say that one should have a civilized debate, but in such a case, like the clip that we saw with Sadiq Khan, sometimes you cannot have a civilized debate. And Farage did the right thing, was cut her off. You interrupt the person. You have to interrupt them. Like you will not go forward with this. It could be seen as, okay, he's not being polite. You cannot interrupt a lady like that. But sometimes you have to do it because you cannot let them just finish the question, because you know that the question comes in bad faith. And he was addressing that. I haven't seen any from Labour addressing this. Why are you asking me these questions? This is meant to erode someone's not even a stance, because these questions are made to mislead. Maybe it's a straw man argument they are rising, and if you try to address the straw man argument, you're losing, because you are answering a bad faith question. It's essentially a question in bad faith. So Farage's attitude is very nonchalant. I think that he's the best at deflecting this kind of stuff. He keeps leaning down. He makes sure to have this his right hand like flat on the couch, on the sofa. He's trying to maintain his composure, but what he does is to try to deflect a question that it cannot be answered.
And what about Beth Rigby? Does she have any sort of dislike towards Nigel? Because she's always coming for him in a way that she doesn't with other politicians, certainly not politicians on the left.
Well, there's one thing that I noticed. I don't know if it's part of her usual body language, her baseline, which is she was tilting her head a bit to her right. I don't know if she does that all the time. I haven't seen that much. That is usually to have some kind of connection with people. You can force that. You can have this dissonance with people if you're trying to attack them, but at the same time you tilt your head, like mislead that you're trying to connect with them in a friendly way. Again, I don't know if that is her usual body language. If that is her usual body language, we discard it. In the sense of her voice, which is always a great signal of somebody's attitude, her voice is it's very precise in the sense that she doesn't stop. When Farage begins to interrupt, she doesn't stop. She makes sure to not stop. And that is what we get, that sort of a discussion that leads nowhere. I think both of them are in their own fields are doing their best job. She's trying to push this question in bad faith in a way that seems logical when it is not, and he knows that he just has to interrupt her and remain composure with this is important from Farage, that regular or balanced voice tone as well.
He did lose it though with Sly News, Jesús, in another interview. I'm really interested to know if this was a genuine reaction from Nigel or if it was maybe a planned move because his supporters, obviously, and people like me are so sick of the way the mainstream media treat him. Watch this.
New vetting system.
You can have your fun at Sky News. We've got 100,000 members. I've got 1 million followers on TikTok. Dame Andrew Jenkins has just joined us. She's our candidate for Greater Lincolnshire. You've had your fun. I'm off for lunch. Thank you.
So was that a moment of genuine anger or something that was carefully constructed, Jesús?
Well, a couple of things. I think that his body language is very different from what we have seen in all the clips that you have shown me of him. Of course, a different situation. But one thing that I see is that he has his hands are really active. He is smashing them together, almost clapping. He's keeping his elbows really close to his body. Even if we cannot see the elbows, we know that he's keeping his elbows close to his body. He's containing himself, and as if this is something rehearsed, if this is something forced, I really cannot say from this. I have never seen this clip. From this first watch of this clip, I couldn't say if it's rehearsed, but it seems like he's containing himself. My critical thinking would say that if he rehearsed this or if he was practicing this, maybe he would have practiced a more natural stance and not such a threatened stance. Like, I'm keeping my elbows close to my body. When you keep your elbows close to your body, it signals that you are threatened. You feel threatened and you want to protect yourself. You put your hands over your chest or over your midsection or your belly to protect. I saw him really tense. His neck was tense. His voice tone was following his body language perfectly. So it was a natural reaction that I really don't want to talk about this.
No, I think you're right.
He went.
I think you're right. I actually do think it was completely genuine fury. He'd just had enough with Sly News and he just thought, I'm out of here. Now, we have a radio presenter in the UK, Jesús, called James O'Brien. He's a hard left propagandist. And what he doesn't like is when he is called out by his callers. And there was an incredible moment last year when he was completely owned by a farmer when he was having a debate regarding the farmers' protests. And actually, it gets to the point where James O'Brien is so horrified by this caller, he actually signals for his producers to turn him down, to get him off. He couldn't cope. But I'm really fascinated for your verdict. You can obviously only see James O'Brien, but you can hear the caller. So let's have a watch.
As a farmer?
Absolutely. No, I've explained several. Do you listen to this program?
So when you? No, I don't.
Well, how can you have such strong?
I think you're an idiot.
How can you have such strong views about me then?
Because the few times I have listened to you, I heard how you speak to people. You talk over them and cut them off, like you've done to me.
Down with that sort of thing, Charlie?
You are down with that, I know. That's what you love.
I mean down with talking over people and shouting at them.
Oh, I'll shout at you. I'll give you everything that you try and give me.
I've tried to give you a fair hearing.
You haven't. You haven't at all.
Okay.
I pointed the facts to you and you won't accept it.
Okay.
You know nothing, James. Stick in your London liberal lefty wokeism. You know nothing about farming. As a farmer?
Absolutely.
Now, what's really interesting there, Jesús, having worked in talk radio before, what I saw was him signal to the producers like that. And what that means is get this caller off. I don't want to hear from him anymore. And at that point, you would notice the volume of the caller started to go much lower. So the producers were clearly turning him off. So was James O'Brien genuinely upset by being owned by that caller?
There's a couple of things that I don't understand. You have a radio show. You should be able to ask questions, right? Somebody is attacking you. You ask questions. Okay, tell me in which. Why do you think I am? There's a basic debate rules, and you see that he has his arms crossed and he is progressively like hiding behind the mic. Look at that. It's like he's hiding behind the mic, and because he is embarrassed. Embarrassed is the word that I'm picking. And the other thing that I see or hear, in fact, I was trying to make out from the voice of the farmer. My idea is that the farmer was standing. It's something that it's a wild guess that I'm making. The voice, the way that he was projecting his voice, I was like running some scenarios in my mind. Okay, maybe he's sitting inside his truck, or maybe he is standing. It doesn't ring like he's sitting on his truck listening to the radio. No, he must be standing. He's projecting his voice, and his voice, even through the phone, is dominating this guy. That's why you see his body language making himself smaller. And it's interesting that you mentioned the signal to the producer thing, because I have no idea how that maybe it was just looking at him, just a quick glance, and that's when the volume began going down. But you could have a conversation. Okay, I'm a blockhead. You're calling me a blockhead. Why do you think I'm a blockhead? I want to know. And you can own anybody who is attacking. Ad hominem attacks are the easiest ones to just flip. But you know that these people from the left are triggered because they have no arguments. They have no arguments whatsoever. Happened to me in the U.S. elections. I really try to have arguments with. When I ask questions, they just, oh, you're a MAGA, you're a Trumper, you're okay. I'm a MAGA, I'm a Trumper, but answer the question, and they never did.
Indeed. Now, look, I want to stick with LBC Radio and a former presenter there called Carol Vorderman. She used to be a very famous TV presenter in the UK who has gone to the hard left. And there's two clips here that I want to look at, Jesús. First, just after the UK election, she was absolutely just loving the fact, relishing the fact that these Conservative ministers had lost their jobs in quite a deranged manner. Then, just a few weeks later, she dramatically announces that she has chosen to quit the station. Now, I don't believe that she quit, Jesús, but I'm fascinated to know whether you think she's telling the truth. So first, let's see her absolute love hosting on LBC, and then we'll go straight into her shock resignation video. But first, do you know how often I talk about the need for free speech to be protected? But I've been increasingly thinking of the need for personal protection online from snoopers, bad actors, and hackers. And I'm delighted to tell you what my solution is. This VPN is a life changer when it comes to providing you entertainment and information from anywhere in the world, as well as that protection. So let me talk about Surfshark. It is an easy and incredible service that encrypts all your internet traffic, meaning your online activities stay safe so you can shop, stream, browse, and conduct your banking online in complete privacy. But the benefits of Surfshark go way beyond keeping you safe. It also allows you to access your favorite entertainment and news shows and news channels from anywhere in the world, wherever you are at any time. Plus access, this is the big thing now, to all the streaming services internationally, including the ones that might be geo-blocked in your region: Hulu, iPlayer, HBO Max, Peacock, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus. You can be within seconds watching as if you are in another country. Or if you're traveling for work or on holiday, you can also get all your favorite content from home, including sports. This is an insurance policy too against creeping censorship in many countries like France, which has now blocked Rumble for many months. So effectively, with Surfshark, You can watch anything, anytime, anywhere, wherever you are. This is true freedom. It can also be a money saver if you use it in the right way as well. Because do you know, I actually didn't know this before I was with Surfshark, but there are some websites in the world that will actually change their prices depending on where you're buying from. Other benefits of Surfshark include the use of unlimited devices, meaning you can protect your entire household with one subscription via the 3,200 servers in over 100 countries. If this is your first time using a VPN, by the way, though, I completely understand it. The great thing about Surfshark is there is 24/7 customer service. I found signing up, though, incredibly easy. If you go to surfshark.com/outspoken right now, you will get an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. What's more, and this is really important, Surfshark are so confident they're the best VPN in the world that they will let you try their service for 30 days. If you're not entirely satisfied, you will get all of your money back. So go to surfshark.com/outspoken for an extra 4 months of Surfshark at an unbeatable price. But now, back to the show.
Go through the list, shall we? Just have a good time. Make yourselves a cup of tea. Grant Shapps, gone. Tria's Coffee, gone. Penny Mordaunt, gone. Lucy Fraser, gone. Johnny Mercer, gone. Simon Hart, gone. David T.C. Davis over in Wales, gone. Gillian Keegan. Chichester didn't think that she'd done such a good job after all. Gone. Alex Chalk, gone. Liam Fox, gone. Jacob Rees-Mogg, over and out. Michelle Donnellan and the £34,000 she made us pay for her libelling somebody, gone. Robert Buckland, gone. Simon Clark, gone. Mark Harper, gone. Quite a few survived, of course, in their very safe seats. They'll now be fighting it out for who will be the next leader of the Tory party. Who cares, really?
And then just a few weeks later, if we go to the next video, Jesús, she quits.
Penny had a little bit of a health scare about 2 weeks ago. And I hit burnout, basically. I've been working 7 days a week for I don't know how long. And I got to London, yet again, I don't live in London, with my suitcase, and I felt very unwell, and I had like a tight feeling in my chest, and I was utterly exhausted again. Anyway, I ended up in hospital for checks, which were all fine, absolutely fine. But my family have given me a good talking to, so have my friends, and have said, no more 7-day working weeks. So, very, very sadly, something had to go. And I'm very fed up about it, but I have made the decision that I can no longer do my Sunday show on LBC. Which is a very hard decision to come to. But I couldn't see anything else that I could do. That's the truth. So,
is that the truth, Jesús? Is she really telling the truth there?
Okay, you're pushing my random access memory module because there's a lot of stuff. And the first clip that you put in there, there's one thing, there's this principle in body language analysis that I tell everybody. That clip is the best example of this. Every single analysis that I do, just so you know, it's only the audio. You say, oh, but you see body language, yeah, but usually when I have time to do an analysis, the very first thing that I do is to listen to it. I go for a walk, maybe it's an interview. Before I see the body language is the voice. And in the first video when she was bragging about all this conservatives losing their jobs, you could hear from her voice. You could tell who were the ones that she had the greatest grudge, just for the way that she paused after some names, how she laughed with some names, how she emphasized some names. This is something that I encourage your lovely audience to do as an exercise. Just listen and try to try to make out of the voice of somebody. And she was delighted, of course. The easiest way to tell why or to address at first clip that she was delighted of all this that she was saying. In the second clip, when she is announcing that she is resigning, she was softening the landing in the sense that she was saying, "Oh, I had this health scare or too much work. I went to the hospital." That is classic. That's a classic way to just prime your audience into accepting what she's going to say out of pity. Oh, you have been working too much. I don't know. Maybe you have considered working 6 days instead of 7, because just quitting your job. I would call it's a bit excessive, I think, especially when you love what you do. Okay, if you're working 7 days a week, she doesn't look like the person that is forced to work 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week because I love my job, and well, maybe I'm privileged in that case. But another thing, from this kind of videos, I have a problem with these vertical videos that people record with their phones, because in some of these apps that they record, these apps flip the image. So what is your left side becomes the right side and vice versa. What is this important is by the orientation of the eyes. Usually when we orient our eyes to the left side, that is, I'm pointing right there, is that we are remembering, it's a rule of thumb, and when we're pointing to the right side, we are more creative mode. It's not that we are lying, but maybe we are trying to find the words for something. I see that she's looking away from the camera a lot. She is having this tongue display. She's doing this. Maybe it's a wetting of her lips. Maybe she is too nervous about this. She's too nervous about this statement, and she's having this nervous smile at the same time.
I think
she's
the
trying
video
to smile.
definitely is flipped, but the other issue with her, Jesus, and I make no judgment for this, a lot of work, which sometimes does mean that there's not so much emotion showing in your face, if you get what I mean. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.